Today's product spotlight is going to be the Norinco Model 213 in 9mm. Now this is a Tokarev type pistol, and this is a surplus gun, and they're converting a bunch of them. This gun is rock solid, okay? Let me show it to you in the video here. What's the first thing we do, everybody? Collective sigh. What do we do? We're going to check to make sure it's not loaded, right? Magazine is out. Slide to the rear. Chamber is checked. Weapon is clear. And there it is, right there. Okay, the Norinco 213. And it's got the aftermarket grips on it. Normally it's just a slab of plastic as a grip, because the weapons that they were designed for, those people over there had a tendency to be smaller frames, smaller hands, so they needed to have a smaller grip for them to use it. Whereas compared to me, I got the mitt, the big palm. I need the big grip with the arch support in the back to keep the gun straight. Okay, so let me read to you here an article that I saw on guns.com talking about the Norinco Model 213 pistol. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you right up front, they're going to mention it to you here in the article a little bit. This is an incredible gun on the cheap. It's quality made in the sense of it'll last generations. It will do what it's meant to do. It's got a handsome design to it, and it won't let you down, and it's a good price. I think A&C's got it for $330. I mean, a rock solid handgun like this, I'm showing you in the video, that shoots very accurately. And you're going to hear some articles say, well, you know, the accuracy was only 2.5 inches at 10 yards. That's the shooter, okay? I'll put him in the same freaking hole with this gun. Let me read to you this article now. Believe it or not, the TT-33 Tokarev and its descendants are actually some of the most prolific handguns in the world. These often inexpensive old handguns have a bit of a following in the USA due to their robust construction, reliability, and low price. What doesn't appeal to many of them is the 7.62 by 25mm ammo it shoots. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to show you this handgun in the video is actually the 7.62 by 25. But because it looks identical to the 9mm, I'm using it for the prop. But here's the ammo that it is. If you look at the ammo in the video, you'll notice that it's a little different design. So they've got this actual handgun I'm showing in the video. They've got it in 9mm A&C Firearms. And I continue with the article. What doesn't appeal to many is the caliber I just mentioned. So what is one to do when they want a Tokarev as well as common ammo? And the answer comes from China North Industries Corporation, or Norinco. The Model 213 is a copy of the Soviet TT-33 Tokarev pistol. Handling a Norinco 213 is essentially the same as a normal Tokarev with a few key differences. First off, it's chambered in its 9x19mm, 9mm. Yes, we've heard of how the 7.62 by 25mm cartridge can rip through armor, but the 9x19 is far more common. I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, they can get you the other one too. That cartridge I'm showing to you in the video, the 7.62 by 25, incredible, incredible. High velocity, my gosh, what it can do, but it's not common. So if you want the common ammo, you get the same quality of the handgun, but you get 9mm ammo. All right, back to the article. One of the reasons, this is the author speaking, I like the Tokarev family of handguns is the feel of the gun. Browning from the 1911 and Browning 1903, Tokarev really managed to copy the feel of the 1903. This was an excellent decision choice, as the Browning 1903 is a very comfortable handgun, and it is. I've got one of those too. In the field, that translates to an easy to handle and easy shooting handgun. In the field, it translates to an easy to handle and easy shooting handgun. The sights are basic in the extreme. The rear sight, I'm showing it to you in the video. The rear sight is a tall piece of blue steel with a U-notch. Can you see that U-notch? There it is, right there. I'm pointing the gun at me. The front blade is thick enough to easily see, and there it is right there. The rear sight is also tall enough to use it against the side of a table. What they're saying is, if you're injured and using a weak hand or something, you could actually use the rear sight to put up against an edge and push down on it to load your weapon. The handgun itself is finished in all blued steel, which is rather attractive to me and to the author as well. Disassembly is simple and should be familiar to those who are 1911 aficionados. Is that how you say it, Bill?
Aficionados.
Thank you, sir. Bill Whitmire, he'll be on the show in just a minute. Accuracy is acceptable for a combat pistol, around 2.5 inches at 10 yards with cheap blazer brass FMJs. Ladies and gentlemen, I've shot this handgun, I've shot it in 9mm, and I can put them in the same hole. It has to do with the shooter. And I'll tell you why it's such a good, accurate shooter. It's the trigger. The trigger is a single action trigger. And on this particular one, there's different types of triggers of single action. On this particular one, it's extremely short and moving, okay? Once again, the gun is empty. You just push it a little bit, and boom, it goes. As compared to a Glock that's a single action, you got a lot more pull to pull on the trigger, which could potentially cause the gun to dip down. Now, while Norinco firearms are no longer imported to the U.S., it's still fairly easy to get your hands on a Norinco 213. Chambered in 9x19, they were an inexpensive handgun when they were first imported, and they still are. As a range toy, it can't be beat. And ladies and gentlemen, I've got mine. I take it out in the field, and it's a great firearm to use for whatever. For those on a budget, the Norinco 213 could serve as a reliable home defense handgun. She's not the most refined handgun, but she certainly can't be beat for the price. So if you go to ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, give them a call at 254-983-4417. Tell them, hey, I just heard it on the radio that you got this 213, Norinco 213. And speak up, because all these guys over there are half deaf. Clint, Dennis, Mike, speak up over the phone so they can hear what you're saying. Tell them, hey, I just heard Matt on the radio talking about that Norinco Model 213. I think it's $330. I'm telling you, it's a good deal. If you want a rock-solid firearm that's going to last for generations, this is one of the ones to go for. Okay, you get the newfangled toys that, with all the bells and whistles, something can break. This is meant for use in the field. It's combat proven. You can't beat it. That's why I love these types of guns. Governments spend millions of dollars to get weapons for their soldiers, and they put it through the test big time, and these are battle proven. You can't go wrong with these firearms, okay? So get yourself a decent firearm like that. Go to ANC Firearms in Heidenhammer, 254-983-4417. Tell me you heard it on the show here. Support the sponsors who support this show. Otherwise, the show goes off the air. And if there's any other sponsors out there or businesses who want to become part of this show, give me a call. Give me an email at aaronsgunshop@gmail.com, and we can work something out for you as well. It'll truly be a benefit to you and the people who are listening. So, Luke, at the ready. Let's take a break. And when we come back, I'm going to have my special guest, Bill Whitmire, and we're going to be talking some politics. See you on the other side.